service, but during the week,
Testing. I'll just get you to clip it in your pocket or put it in your pocket or on your belt, something like that.
No, that's fine. Maybe we'll just go in my pocket. This is going to keep falling down. Okay, we're on.
So I clicked, so okay, obviously that's how I mute it. But that means front and back speakers, which is why it's even louder. What I wanted is the next one, which is the one after that, which is vibrate.
Ah, right.
So yeah, I just thought the last version sounded more light. And I was like, oh, good, it works. I haven't actually played it again. So.
Okay.
Well, that's good.
Testing, testing. We're online.
How's the handheld mic? Nope.
Just realising.
Nothing. I'm not the pheasant plucker, I'm the pheasant plucker's mate too. I'm only plucking pheasants because the pheasant plucker's like... No? I'm not the pheasant plucker, I'm the pheasant plucker's son. I'm only plucking pheasants because the pheasant plucker comes. No?
No.
I'm not doing that again, I'm making mistakes. That's better. Okay.
All right.
Cool, we're both on. Okay, do you want to yell, see if there's any more newcomers lurking shyly outside, waiting for an invitation? Nope, all good?
One of you has too many microphones.
Oh, don't do that.
Feedback, just about.
Yeah.
Probably less
So we just don't need to we need to pause every so often to let it decline again.
Oh, I think it's mostly me that's setting it off. Probably volume down a little.
Yeah. The funny thing is we don't actually need the mics at all. For them to hear me. I assume there's somebody doing the whole thing up there right now. Cool. So that couple more that were coming are good? They're in? Excellent.
Okay.
Okay, we can add lock the doors, please.
All right.
Okay, first of all, please heckle louder so we can all enjoy it. Amateurs.
And so you've made it to Linux.conf. Welcome.
Welcome.
Welcome. Congratulations. This is, oh, sorry. this is our compere.
We practiced this.
We did.
My name is Rusty.
And my name is Leah. Okay. I'm sorry, I'm seriously letting you down here, aren't I? So you're probably all here wondering, you know, where am I? What's happening for the week? What do I do? So we're here to hopefully answer some of those questions, give you some advice on what to do during the week, and tell you some of the secrets and lies that surround the LCA experience.
Okay, so we'll start with where am I? Who here is actually a newcomer and not here to heckle me again because they heard this last year? Oh, there's some, welcome, okay?
Oh.
Really welcome to you.
Welcome.
Okay, so, Linux.conf, thank you, yeah.
Right, that corner.
Second group is still slightly smaller than the first one, so it's all good. This is a roving free software technical conference. So roving, it changes location every year. Free software is what we're here about, and it is a technical conference. Okay, so it's a volunteer team every year. So they're not getting paid. They've never done it before. They have no idea what they're doing. So they're just like you and me, only not quite as bright. So it's run under the umbrella of Linux Australia. Well, one of their main things is basically to ensure the continuity of the conference and roll the funding over and stuff like that from year to year and decide where it's going to be. They may have an AGM, I think, during the conference. They often do.
So what's happening during the week? Well, that's happening during the week. There's a lot to get through, a lot of different things to see. Everything from, you know, you've got the keynotes in the mornings, but we always kick off with the mini-confs.
So that's the end of our presentation. Are there any questions about anything there? No? Okay. Okay, we'll break it down a little bit. Okay, so mini-confs this year are only on Monday. Okay, this is like the casual conference warm-up. It's not part of the conference proper, although it kind of is, but it's a chance for everything, you know, to work out the AV and all that stuff and microphones, and the network traditionally doesn't work on Monday. They're ambitious this year because there's only one day of mini-confs, so that gives them 1 day to get stuff up rather than traditional 2 days of chaos. Each one's independently run, so people volunteer, hey, I want to run a mini-conf on, you know, administering virtualization or whatever, and if there's enough demand, then they get a slot. The paper committee always want me to point out, the paper committee for the conference do not touch the mini-conf. It's up to the individual mini-conf organisers. So we take no responsibility whatsoever for the content in the mini-conf. So seriously, if you got there are some gems in there, but the quality will be a lot more variable than perhaps you might see in the main conference. So just kind of be aware of that, and they're much more casual, if that's possible.
Then the keynotes. Each morning, 9 o'clock, we start off on Monday with a welcome from the committee organisers. Now, this is the one you really should attend. I'm not saying that the others you shouldn't attend, but this is the one where you get all the information about what's happening during the week, where you need to be, what changes have been made to the schedule. But the keynotes, they're slightly different from some of the other conferences you've probably been to. We don't tend to get big sponsored talks for our keynotes. We actually choose the best of the best. You'll see some of the most well-known and well-regarded speakers in the open source. Of course. So make sure you make it to the 9 o'clock. Cool. 9 o'clock keynotes.
Yeah, so do try to make it to the keynotes. Shh. Yes, actually, there's our first secret. Yeah, they tend to give stuff away in the keynotes, and you have to be there in the morning to get it. So,
and I've heard, just a rumour, that what we've got to give away is actually pretty good.
Something pretty good this year.
Yeah,
okay.
So you'll. So yeah, they often pull someone's name out of a hat, and all their friends are furiously like texting them or trying to like grab them online to say, "Dude, you just missed out on a prize here." And yeah.
So we don't lie about what we get.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and you'll probably need your badge to prove that's you too. So, cool. Tutorials. This year they're on T101. which is
That way.
that way. Okay.
Okay.
Blue arrows.
Yeah, follow the blue arrows.
The really, really ugly building with the hubcaps on the wall.
Yes.
Okay, ugly building, hubcaps on wall, think tutorials. They run concurrent with the conference this year. They're in-depth how-tos, usually interactive. Read the description carefully. The description will often say that you have to have done stuff beforehand or brought stuff with you in order to make any sense of the tutorial. So you actually need to read the descriptions before you show up.
And of course the talks, which are what will keep you busy most of the week. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday and Friday with an asterisk, because this year they're bringing back the best of talks. This means that during the week, if you've been to see a whole bunch of talks and someone says, oh geez, you know, what were you doing in that one? This one was really, really good. You can vote for, people can vote for their favourite talks and they'll rerun 4 of them at the end of the week. So you'll probably get a chance to see them again. That's not an excuse not to turn up, you know, because your favourite talk may not get in. But yes, out of 160 submissions, only 70 got in. That's pretty standard. We get a lot of high quality submissions over for each LCA.
I don't know the details for the voting. That's still being decided, I believe, but it will definitely be announced.
And bribery. No, we are about to release the code that will allow you to do the voting for talks.
Okay.
In quality assurance,
Right.
basically.
So no doubt there'll be an announce at the Monday opening or the latest the Tuesday opening about how to vote for talks. So that's probably worth doing. Now, when you think about it, it's not in your benefit to vote for talks. You're doing it as an assistant for someone else because you've obviously already seen it, unless you want to see it again for some reason. So.
And of course, if you're stuck for something to watch, always think left. The left column is is always the biggest lecture theatre. This one. Generally what the paper committee does is they go through the talks and they use black voodoo magic to decide which talks they think are going to be the most popular ones, and they always schedule them in the biggest rooms. That said, you will find some talks from time to time that are immensely popular and you won't get in. Hopefully they'll be in the best twos. But yeah, always think left. So, yeah. Stuck for something to see, go to the one on the left.
Come here.
Yep, come here.
Cool. BOFs. So studios 1 to 3 running concurrently with the main conference are the Birds of a Feather sessions. So this is self-organised on the wiki. You can go there and you can schedule something. If you have this great passion for home brewing or whatever it is, you get your BOF slot and you put that down, and other people who are interested can look at it and come along and see what's happening. So this works really well as a widening out of hallway conversations. If you're talking to someone about something and, you know, you both go, hey, actually, you know, I bet we're the only 2 people who are interested in, you know, left-handed corkscrews as applied in Antarctica, then you can go and schedule your BOF and convince people to turn up and everything else. So BOFs are self-organised spaces and they run through parallel through the entire conference. There is a jobs BOF again this year, for example, which Paul Fenwick and I generally organise, which is running Wednesday across the afternoon tea break. But see the BOF wiki page for people who are interested in jobs. Yeah.
Will the BOF rooms be recorded like the talks?
No, the BOF rooms are not recorded. They're not anything. The BOF rooms are just rooms.
Okay.
If you like it, they'll have a roof.
And of course the lightning talks. This has been a great return to the conference. Lightning talks, you get 5 minutes. Anybody can do it. Anybody can sign up. 5 minutes to talk about your topic of choice. This might be a project you're working on at the moment, something you're trying to get started up. It could be on how to train your dog, or it could be on your favourite rant at this point in time. But basically, you can talk on anything. You've got 5 minutes.
Everyone will be here.
Everyone will be here.
So you have everyone's attention for those 5 golden minutes.
Yes.
Well, except the ones who are, of course, on IRC. Like that guy right there. Organised evenings. Did we flip? I thought.
No, we didn't.
Originally, I was. Is this you or me?
Oh, yeah, you're right. We did flip.
Yeah.
I don't know
that was
how.
clever, Ross. So I'm doing organised evenings. Okay, organised evenings. So there are social events in the evenings. Who here is a speaker? Yeah, okay. So speaker's dinner is Tuesday night. Probably worth turning up to. Professional delegates, anyone who's not a student or a hobbyist? Yep, cool.
Of course, if you're on the other side, there's the unprofessional delegates networking session on Monday night.
Professional delegates networking session, and then there's the unprofessional one that's organised. See the wiki. It's organised. Somebody just throws it together. And then Thursday's the Penguin Dinner, which is the big one. So if you have tickets, then come along to the Penguin Dinner. I think they got included with various registrations, and you can order extras and stuff like that.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, so
the
we'll
way
go
you
through
tell-
that at the end. Tell you how to decode your badges. And importantly, at the Penguin Dinner, I believe the Rusty Wrench Award is going to be announced. So if you're hanging out to find out whether you won, that's... okay. Oh, cool. How did we get here? This is our 3-minute potted history of Linux.conf.au. This is how it happened. Number 0 was called CALU, Conference of Australian Linux Users, because I wasn't cool enough to get a conf.au domain. So it was held in Melbourne in '99. We had no network. You didn't get network access to the conference back in those days. So somebody printed out /dot every day and posted it on the notice board. 2001, I obviously burnt out after '99 when I'm never ever going to do that again. 2001, the Sydney guys went, that was awesome, we totally should do that again. They called it Linux.conf.au, so that became number 1. I didn't get completely scot-free, as Leah pointed out. I submitted 3 talks for their consideration, and they accepted all of them. And scheduled them at the same time across. The result was I had to smurge the 3 of them together to produce this monstrosity that I gave in 2001. There was also some, that's a picture of the TiVo. There was a lot of other really, really cool stuff that happened at that conference. I don't actually have a good picture of 2002 in Brisbane, but I like that picture. So that was the first year we had the Debian Miniconf. Yeah, yes, indeed. The Debian Miniconf, let's get the feel for this, Greg. The Debian Miniconf consisted of a table with some badges that you could peel off yourself and a pen to write on it with. That was it. You turned up 2 days before the conference and you kind of went... and all the Debian people mini-conf together. Oh, actually, it was the day before. It was a single day?
Like this, 8 years?
Yeah, okay. It was anyway, but that started the mini-conf tradition at LCA. So they decided to fill the dates before. So yeah, and that obviously has continued with the whole idea of different mini-confs and everything else. Now this horrible photo is 2003 in Perth. The person in the penguin suit is Linus, and that was the first year that Linus came all the way under to visit us.
Say yay again.
Yeah. And this is 2004 in Adelaide. Linus said he would come back if he had a dunk tank. Did. That year we auctioned off the right to dunk him. So that was it being done there. I actually think that's ripped off LWN. That's their shot. 2005 was in Canberra, and that's Tridge giving his now classic BitKeeper talk, which was not recorded anywhere. So if you weren't there, suck it. It was awesome. That was, yeah, best talk ever. Don't get me started. 2006 is Dunedin. First time we went overseas. Those funny speaking people. And we, okay. Super geek points. Who knows who this is from the picture? Yeah, okay. Those who came to my newcomer talk last year know who it is.
I went to the talk.
Yeah, they went to the talk. Okay. Who's heard of Van Jacobson? Yeah. Who's used the internet? Okay. We're getting there. Okay, so Van Jacobson shows up and he turns up the Sunday, like while everyone's setting up and everything else. He's kind of wandering around. This like nobody knows what he is. He's just like this guy, right? And so he's kind of wandering around. And he goes up to the help desk and he says, "Is there anything I can do to help?" So obviously he's jet lagged, so he's not going to go back to his hotel asleep or anything. So someone says, "Do you know how to crimp a network cable?" Yeah. So yeah, he made half the network cables that they used. Who is that guy? So, yeah. 2007. was in Sydney, and it was the first year we had the open day. And basically, it turned out that a whole heap of geeks have really cool stuff that they pulled out of the closet and set up for the public to come through and actually see the kind of stuff that we do. And there was, again, a really, really horrible photo, but it was actually just a really awesome vibe. So that sort of, that comes in and out every few years, depending on where we are.
They didn't have the big Tux hot air balloon, though.
No.
Which was talked about at length, but...
Yeah, yes. The Canberra team originally wanted, because there was like a Windows XP hot air balloon in Canberra, and they wanted to get a Tux hot air balloon. It was only going to be about $40,000 to do it, and somehow that never quite made the cut in the budget. 2008, back in Melbourne, second time we repeated the city, because we were in Sydney again the year before, and we gave away a whole heap of OLPCs to random delegates on the theory that that was the best way of figuring out who could do awesome stuff to help the OLPC project.
If anyone still has one, let me know, please.
Yes. So if you still have one, some of them seem to disappear into the swamp. But okay.
Now this one I know all about. This was actually my first conference, and this was the one I organised down in Hobart. And this is where this little fella came from. Our very own version, southern version of Tuz. But yes, this is a good example of what can happen at the Penguin dinner. This is why it's worthwhile going. To cut a long story short, there's usually an auction. Many years there's been an auction at the Penguin dinner. We ran one again in our year. It got a little out of control to the point where someone pledged a whole bunch of money if Linus would shave off B-Dale's beard. It was a consortium, yeah.
It was a conspiracy. I mean, consortium.
Yes. At least it wasn't you having to...
no, it was not me.
to get involved for a change. So we thought that this wasn't actually going to go anywhere until we were approached by Linus later that night, who said, "Have you got a razor?" So the best we could do was this pair of garden shears. We did end up finding the razor later that night, and he did actually have the shave, and the video proof is out there somewhere on the internet. Cool. Yeah, crazy times.
So yes, 2010 was in Wellington. We went back to New Zealand. This is a very rare photo from the speaker's dinner itself, where we're learning the haka. There's Paul Fenwick doing a very impressive job with his tongue there. So yes.
And then, of course, the first conference I got to attend as a delegate. Newbie delegate. So I guess, this is probably a good place for me to be. Brisbane. Now, of course, we're all sitting there holding our tickets in our hand a week before the conference, watching the floods roll in. There was a very good chance that it wasn't going to go ahead. The primary venue was completely flooded out, and most of the city was underwater. But fortunately, these guys pulled it together.
They swum
through
in,
the muck
got
and the mire, swum in, floated the servers out and managed to hold it at another campus venue. So, off that...
So we all turned up feeling very, very relieved that the disaster was over.
There was even beer.
Only to be told, of course, that we're all going to die. By the morning keynote telling us that we've run out of IPv4 addresses and we're not ready for IPv6 and we're all going to die.
But of course,
Yeah, but
then there were rockets.
So that's good.
Everybody forgot about it.
Yeah. Okay. This is the bit we didn't practice. So it's going to be less smooth than we've been so far.
Brace yourself.
Advice. This is pretty obvious. Obviously, yes, actually see the talks. Ask questions. I like, all speakers like being asked questions, especially at the end.
Preferably at the end.
Now, help out if something isn't right. This is, remember what I said about who runs this conference. These are people who actually are just like you, only they don't actually get to enjoy the conference because they're busy running it. So if you see something that needs help, don't expect some overpaid peon to come along and do it. It will be someone just like you who has to fix it. So there's going to be a lot of opportunities for you to actually just lend a hand and make things smooth for somebody else.
And let me tell you, as a past organiser, the organising committee will be getting pretty frazzled by about Wednesday. So if you want to make a good friend, influential friend, definitely put up your hand and help.
No, let's be honest, they won't even remember. They're just completely out. But,
there's a haze of lack of sleep.
So, yeah, let's get some rest. And yeah, we usually use the hashtag LCA 2012, so it's easy to find. Yeah, question?
Well, just a point, this has been said to the speakers, but given that Tuesday's going to be so hot, if you're not used to a southern Australia hot day, the water thing and take...
Yeah. Well, on Tuesday morning, they'll run through all that for everyone, I think, the whole crowd, because the whole heap of people won't have really experienced Ballarat. And by the way, it's only going to be 31. It's going to be hot. Anyway, so, yeah.
Things not to do.
Do not. Yeah. Drink much more than you normally do. I haven't put any moral judgments in there. I'm just saying, try to keep the running average about the same as normal. Yeah, fanboy speakers. I don't think we need to say don't fanboy the speakers. Especially not when I'm fanboying them, because that's annoying. Harass others. Join or start more than one new project. Just pace yourself. It's very easy to come to a conference and get excited and wound up, and it's also awesome. And then it's after that binge, you get back to work Monday and you realise you've just committed the next 12 years of your life in the next 6 months. Don't do it. Yes. And yes, every so often somebody tries to hijack the wireless. So if you SSH into a box and it says the key, it doesn't recognise the keys, they haven't really changed. Do not, as one bearded hacker did one year, think that's odd and type in your password. Anyway. Secrets.
Well, okay.
There's only one secret, really.
Pretty much. You are the conference. What makes Linux.conf so great is that it is the participation. The talks are great, the events are great, but it's really the discussions you have in the hallways, the people you meet, the information you pass on to others. So participate, be part of it all, approach new people.
Our attendees are actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
There are a couple of exceptions.
Oh,
but
yeah, not to mention.
But no, most of our attendees are actually really, really cool. Doing cool stuff, really interested in what they're doing, passionate about it. So the best stuff you're going to get out of the conference is going to be chatting to other attendees and finding out what they're doing.
And remember, a lot of the attendees are also speakers.
Yeah. They're just the ones who manage to get their stuff together in order to submit in time to get through the paper committee process. So, the other secrets, yes. The badge. You should all have one by now. It has various stuff on it. In particular, it will have the now classic pictograms in the corner. The wireless icon is for the professional delegates networking session, meaning you're a professional and you get to go to the networking session. Haha, that's so funny. Okay, 18 in a circle I guess means you're over 18.
You're over 18.
That was hard to decode. You may have a fish with a number in it. That is the number of tickets you have to the dinner, which was mentioned before. Now, different people will often have different icons.
Fourth one is speaker.
No, speaker is actually the colour of the badge. You get a black badge for your speaker. We don't get a little icon this year.
Mark, you had badge. The extra one, didn't you?
Oh, okay, so you have a knife and fork.
A knife and fork.
Breakfast at the accommodations.
Oh,
you get breakfast.
Right.
Right, so knife and fork means we've paid for breakfast. Well, that's pretty cool. Someone else got anything interesting on their badge? Is there like, if you're a Ballarat local, do you get some cool icon? Some years they do that. So,
yeah, they've been known to throw on some interesting ones in the years. One that I always...
Coffee tokens. Right, yes.
Yes.
There are coffee tokens in the back of the badge. I am about to find out what they're for.
Coffee becomes available tomorrow.
Right, okay. Apparently from tomorrow on, so you have coffee.
The university store will apparently serve you coffee for one of those tokens.
Right, okay, so we have...
provided that information earlier.
Cool, so we have an excellent sort of informal exchange between these and coffee. This will work well.
And you know, the one thing that I always wished they'd put on the badges was a special icon for Linus. Let me tell you a story from 2009.
Oh, yes, I remember.
We were going to the speakers' dinner, and he'd walked up to register for the speakers' dinner to get on the boat, as we were taking them down the river. And we thought it'd be funny to say, Linus, oh no, you're not on the list. I'm sorry, we can't let you on. Which was a great joke at the time, except when it came to the penguin dinner later that week, and we'd left admissions to the penguin dinner in someone else's hands, and he didn't have his badge with him. And they went, oh, no, I'm sorry, you don't have your badge, you can't come in.
We have standards at this conference.
Funny ones.
So, yeah.
So, yes, that leads on to another thing. Always bring your badge with you everywhere.
Badge. Even if you're Linus.
Yes, even if you're Linus.
Can I just say, if you have forgotten it, go to registration. They have replacement stickers they're actually big, and they say, I was silly enough to leave my badge in my room, but that will stop us volunteers from kicking you out.
Yeah.
Are they attached to like a Besser brick or something like that?
Yeah. The weight attach gets heavier as you go back every time to get new replacements, I believe. That's how it works. So, surprises. So there will be surprise announcements. Things will happen through the conference. The organisers usually have something that they like to hold back. So expect that to come out. It will probably come out at one of those mornings, another reason that you should attend. There are various in-jokes. I don't know what they are yet, but if everyone else laughs and you don't, that was one of them. So, yes, next year's conference.
Next year's conference is always announced on the last day of the conference, so at the closing ceremony.
This year, of course, no surprise is going to be. So.
Everybody knows that.
Yeah. The Rusty Wrench Award.
Rusty Wrench, yeah. Named in honour of, which is going to be at the Penguin Dinner this year.
Someone said something about the Penguin Dinner, but yeah, it's
so it's an award for some of our biggest and best in our community, nominated by the community and awarded at LCA each year.
Yep, that's the plan anyway. So yes, yep. So this will be the fourth one. The constant change. This is really important. People who've been to one or two LCAs think they've got it all figured out and they know what's going to happen. They are wrong. Because the team changes every year, they always come with bright ideas. They throw things out, they try new things. 30% of the things they try become instant classics. Well, it's probably dropped a bit now, but maybe 20% of the things they try become instant classics, and we have to do them every year from then on. They're immediately a tradition. Another 30% of stuff is, well, it really doesn't work, and we just never mention it again. And then there's stuff in the middle that kind of works. The thing is that there is churn in the conference. So things you go, they always do blah, is 70% of the time they will do blah. It actually isn't quite that fixed. So the worst thing is, next year when you're no longer a newbie and you think you know how it all works, you will be in a lot more trouble when you get arrested than this year. Oh, lies. Lies,
yes.
There's really only one?
Only one. The conference is listed in the program.
Yeah. This is not the stuff you'll remember, with a few exceptions. The highlight of your conference will be something that wasn't actually listed in the program, I almost guarantee it. We get that feedback every year.
So again.
With that, welcome.
Welcome.
And have a great time at the conference. Now, we generally go to a pub immediately after this, but it turns out there are none within walking distance. Yeah. If we had known that when selecting which city would get Linux.conf. So instead, we've got some sort of drinks and nibbles through the doorway down there. So if you follow me, we will have something. And you can always ask questions. Sorry?
Rusty, any chance of a walk around? Those of us who this is the very first time we've been here don't know where things are with room relations.
That would be a really good idea. The gentleman there who just raised his hand has offered to lead a walk around campus. See, I love it. See, that is the spirit of Linux.conf. He just leaps in, sees something he's doing, and just does it.
Volunteer spirit.
Kudos, sir. Well kudos. Excellent. Okay. We're done.
Thank you. Oh, it wasn't too bad.
We should have practiced
You
the
are.
second half. But,
Oh, look, under pressure, I will probably just blow off everything we decided in the, in the practice anyway.
No, we stuck pretty much to the script.
Yeah, it didn't go too badly. Yeah. I'll be doing some.
That didn't go half bad.
It wasn't too bad. It's kind of fun.